In this tutorial, we're going to be adding a place mark and a label for our country of South Africa. But before we go into that, I want to show you a cool little feature that we're going to be looking at. And up here on the toolbar you click on this little clock or time, and it brings up a menu that shows a timeline. Now we can go back to images of South Africa all the way back to 1972. And so it shows you what the land looked like back then. These are images, satellite images that we have since then. All of these images up here. So you can take a look and you can see how it's changed over the years as far as the vegetation, the color of the landscape, and so on. So I'm just going to go back to 1972 so you can see the comparison. And that's a nice little tool. But now we're going to get into actually adding the place mark or placeholder. And you find that, of course, in Add or on the toolbar here. Actually, we're going to deselect this so that we're out of the view, the history view. So we'll deselect that. So now we can actually add this place mark. So go up here to the little pin, add place mark, and the place mark there is shown. Now the hand is in a pointer finger right now, and I can move this around to any position that I want. I'm going to place it so that my label right here is right in the middle of South Africa, and I'm going to go up here to the dialog box, and I'm going to type in the name South. Let's go back and highlight that again. South Africa. If you are unable to add any text or information into the dialog box, make sure you click into the text box here so that you can add that information, because sometimes if you click here on the map, you're not able to then type within the dialog box. So then make sure you select it and then type. Okay, now I've got my South Africa heading there, my label, but I've got this big pin here, and we really don't necessarily want that because it's kind of distracting. But we need it there so that just in case we want to move this label South Africa around, we need to be able to see this pin, or we need to be able to have our hand here locate this pin. So what we're going to do, instead of having a big pin here, is we're going to make it really small so you can barely see it, but you could still then select it and move South Africa up here or down here if you wanted to. So we're going to go to Style and Color of this place mark. And as you can see, it says Label. Where our label is white, the color white, the scale is 1, which is fine, and its opacity is fine. The icon, though, is at a scale of 1.1. We can make that scale smaller, and the pin shrinks to very small. So we can keep it at 0.2 because you really can't see the pin at that small from a distance. So we'll keep it there. Now, we can keep the color there, that's fine. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Or if we wanted to, we can make this larger, but then we can make the opacity so that it disappears. So we can make it to 10, and as you can see, it's gone. So you can do either or, and I think I like it. We'll make the opacity down to where it's almost invisible. Okay, and I can still see this big box here so that I can click it and drag around the label South Africa if I wanted to. Okay, once again, you can only make changes to this label if the dialog box is open. Okay, go back to description, and now I'm going to say, let's add some text to this place marker. We're going to say South Africa is a diverse land with many different cultures, people, landscapes. I'll just say people and landscapes. So that gives us a little description of South Africa. Okay. In the next tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to add an image in here and also some video to educate people about South Africa as they go into Google Earth here and they view our tour. So we've got that all set up, and we can say OK. And now it's set for us. Now if we want to see the description of South Africa, I can't just click, well, I can click on that where that pin was right there, and that dialog box opens up and shows us the description. Or I can click over here on the South Africa place in My Places, and it also shows the dialog box with the description that we typed in. Okay, so now we have a lot more information than we started out with. Stay tuned for the next tutorial on how to add images and video to this dialog box.